At this point, it's not a wonder that we're waiting for the market to make a nice turn, or at least a small turn, before we really get excited about this next move. A lot of work needs to be done. In this video, I'll talk about everything we need to see, from Bitcoin to XRP, as well as what I'd like to see this week. That being said, let's get started. Let us talk about some things. Let's talk about the Friday night pit close too. I think fear and greed are about 12 right now. That's a nice bounce. It's clear that we are still very scared. The market value of cryptocurrencies is getting close to $3 trillion again. That's good to see. BTC is back above 87,000, XRP is back above $2, and it's getting close to $210. Oh, that was a nice jump. In general, it wasn't a bad weekly candle close either. I've been mentioning for a while now that Bitcoin's weekly light closes. That number for Bitcoin that I've been keeping an eye on is about 86.3K. We came pretty close. It's not really that crazy. It's not a crazy upward momentum push, but it's still a pretty good close above 86.3K, which was our goal. Why is that our goal? Well, if you watched the video from earlier today, you already know that our main goal was for the price to close above this level, which is where our support from March lies. And if we could turn resistance into support by building a floor on it, we could get a nice push back up, which would pretty much hold price support. We've had this happen before too, where we tested big resistance again and held it. It then turned into support. That's where we start to see some really bullish price action, as well as some good price action. In any case, I'm keeping an eye on Bitcoin to see if it will continue its current upward path. I'm also keeping an eye on things to see if we can keep this scale higher low. It's not something I want to happen that we lose these lows that go all the way back to March. So far, the structure looks pretty good. This week, I'm going to keep a close eye on that. When we lost this low from March of this year, it was like the last nail in the coffin. That's pretty much proof that the market is going to drop even more. So the show is pretty much over. Okay, so the show is still going on. It looks like we're now at the halftime show. We'd like to see something now. For Bitcoin to reach our next important goal, it needs to set a floor and break above it. This is the middle of us. This is about 100 points, or almost 5K. We really want to break above that level because it has been our support since June. Now, I won't get excited until we start to fully change the amounts of resistance as well. To be more specific, we need a nice weekly candle to close just above 105,000. That will be a very strong sign that Bitcoin is going to go much higher and hit some of these old highs again. That being said, let's look at the main thing again. I want us to really go over 104.7K. Let's round it up to 105K. This 108K level doesn't even bother me after 105K is reached. The 112K level doesn't bother me at all. I'm interested in the next big spot of resistance, which is around 120,000. Those are the next two stops I'm interested in. Besides that, it mostly broke through the highs, setting a new record for Bitcoin's highest price ever. We're going to keep our attention on this again. We're going to see it. It will take some time, but so far it's been a great weekend. Not too crazy or anything, but a great start. Before I go on, I just want to quickly let you know that Decent just started its biggest sale of the year. They just started their Black Friday sale. You can save up to 40% right now if you click on the links in the story below. It's 30% off a single deal. That is $109 instead of $159. The double deal costs $189 instead of $318. Guys, this is one of the best deals that Decent will have all year. Now is the best time to buy a cold storage device or a crypto-themed gift for the holidays. You can use the links I've put in the text below. With that out of the way, let's talk about the next big thing, which is stocks. Also, besides Bitcoin, it's clear that stocks have been the main force behind this, right? Stocks have been going down. This is the thing we looked at. It looks like the future will be pretty good so far, not yet anything crazy. So, based on the futures, the S&P is up about 35 points. We're still very scared. The big thing I'm keeping an eye on this week, it might not happen this week, it might happen next week, or it might happen the week after that. It doesn't matter. We want to hit one of these highs more than anything else. Of course, we'll go after the next few if we beat the first one, but we need to make this chart look like it's going up. From here on out, the highs and lows have only gone down. It's time to get rid of this building from the board for good. We will go after the all-time high again and maybe break through it if we can get a nice run up and clear these last two highs. To say it again, the S&P has been very negative. I do think this is because we want to change how people feel. A full reset of most signs is also something we want to see. It looks like most of the signs have been going down. Additionally, a lot of people think this will keep going down because the RSI is still pretty high, but to be honest, it's not that hot. The last three resets happened right around the same area that we just reset to in April, July, and September of last year. Now, prices are going even crazier. For the S&P, I'm looking for a break of this earlier high. I want us to get rid of 6,770. Let's round it up to $6,800. If we break above $6,800, it would be a very strong sign that risk on assets is still very bullish and that we're going to keep going up. Another important thing to keep an eye on this week is stocks, along with Bitcoin's continued strong rise. In Bitcoin, getting back $100,000 will be a big deal. To take it again is a huge psychological step, and that's about a $13,000 jump in price, which will really take the market by storm. Guys, let's talk about XRP. Next week is going to be big. I'll talk about the many new ETFs that are coming out in a moment. But the most important thing to know about XRP is that it is slightly going up. It's not like a crazy rise. We closed at about $2.33, which is about $24 at the end of the week. Not too far away. More than $2 is what matters. I think I said that last week, or even in the middle of this week. I think I mostly said that we don't want to see a weekly close below $1.91, but I'm not sure. So this light close is great to see. I'd like to see a little more from XRP this week. The most important thing is to get rid of this marked area, which is between $2.33 and $259. Why stop there? At this point in time, we do have a big area of resistance from October on. So if we could clear $265, we'd be on our way to trying these previous highs again. Well, if XRP really starts to gain speed and we break through some of the previous highs, including the July high, $5 will be the next major support level for the coin. I'm not too far away from this. We don't know when this will happen. We mostly look at the chart to see if there is movement and to see if any levels are broken. It works the same way for Bitcoin too. Stocks are the same way. Now, all we have to do is wait for the structure to turn positive again. We'll just sit back, take it easy, wait, and enjoy the holidays until then. Also, don't stress out too much. Pay attention. We don't need to worry about what will happen. Everything is fine as long as those lows stay in place. Don't worry unless we break these April lows. The same is true for XRP when it closes below $1.91 on a weekly basis. That's not something we want to see. On paper, we can go below those lows from April at that point. I think the show is over if we lose these lows and make a new lower low.